Don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.
Dane, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. Seems like it's been a minute since we've been together, and we're ready to start season 4, isn't it?
Tonight.
Season 4?
Yeah,
Wow.
man. Season 4 kicks off this week. It's awesome. We just hit the 2-year mark
Yeah.
with this broadcast, and we've done some things with Chaos and different programs prior. But the
Yeah.
Dane and Josh show, 2 years in the making, man. Almost 300 episodes. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's flown by so quick, but had a lot of fun, and more importantly, we've learned so much. And tonight's going to be no exception. We're ready to learn some more and hear a great story and be inspired at the same time.
I'm excited to continue the inspirational journey, man. We have a
Yeah.
huge deck lined out for season 4. I can't even get into all of that we have because it's so crazy. We're blessed, thank God. We've hit 37 countries now, Dane, that we're going out to.
Wow.
Kind of crazy.
Wow.
Positivity spreads, right? As they say.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
and as I said that, this artist slash with artists with their hands, if you will. She's an amazing boxer. Priska Lay will be coming on here in a second.
Yeah.
Dana, I started following her story, and she has one of those inspirational stories that you can't not root for this girl. She started boxing up later in her career, and if you watch this girl fight, it's like, dude, she's got a fire, got a passion, and she trains like nobody's business. She's always training, always posting her workouts, talking about what she's doing to improve herself, eating techniques, cardio. I get inspired just watching her. I'm like, I want to box, but just a little glimpse of what she does. So I'm fanboying out, Dan, but I want to get to it right away. Kick off season 4. We're blessed to have Priska Lay on the show. Priska, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me, bro. I'm excited.
Thank you for giving us your time.
Yes.
Absolutely.
No problem.
Priska, as I said, I watched you. I came across you about a year and a half ago or so. We started connecting and all that, and you've inspired me and countless others. What you do, it's art. The way you move, you're so quick, so agile, and so fiery. I just watch you, and I'm like, sometimes when I'm going for a run, I'm like, let me watch a video of Priska doing something to kind of psych myself up. So take me back. I'm gonna jump into the question set. That back in the day when this started for you, what got you on the path of training, whether it's MMA or boxing? What got you into this world? How'd this begin for you?
I jokingly tell people my origin story is I'm the little orphan Annie of combat sports. I got thrown into my first amateur cage kickboxing fight with no training, none whatsoever. And I got fight of the night. I lost by split decision. And I tell people it was like I woke up. The first time I got punched, it was like I woke up and I decided that this was it. If I could do that and not have any training, it excited me to see how far I could go if I actually applied myself all the way. And I did. I gave up all my bad habits. I quit smoking. It was kind of like a religious conversion with me, like martial arts, my spirituality. Mm-hmm. Like it kind of just dealt with everything in my life simultaneously. Now, was it an overnight fix? No, but
I love that.
Not at all.
I love that.
Yeah, but through training and the physical discipline, that manifested everything I wanted to be on the inside.
I love that. That's awesome. So positive, man. And what a story, like you said, like talk about that role model thing, overcoming bad addictions. And I appreciate that. Like no judgment. We're all people too, right? But you're overcoming these habits you want to let go of and taking something completely healthy. That's a kicking story, right? I mean, wow.
Yeah. It was 180 because I couldn't do it. Like you can't do bad living and be a true martial artist if just talk. And I'm very blunt. Like my opinion is my own, and I know that from different backgrounds, but Bushido and the martial arts lifestyle, if it doesn't affect the way you treat people, then
I love that.
You've only gone surface level with the technique, And I'm a true martial artist. So it changed my behavior. It gave me self-esteem. I've been clean and sober,
I love that. It's awesome.
The proof is in my living. And, I've rebuilt a lot of broken relationships between my family. It's done a lot for me. And for someone who's older, most are young enough to be my daughters at this point. So
That's so cool. Wow. You see them.
Yeah, that makes me a very dangerous opponent because I'm not here to play games. I know that my time is limited, and if you fight me, you will earn every second of that fight, like period. It's
absolutely.
Like, and I've won like consistently across multiple skill sets, sets, because I love to fight and I know what I'm made of. And that's something that when you train the way I train, that's where my confidence stems from. It's the repetition. It's if my autopilot is better than your full attention, then you're going to be in trouble.
I love that. Dane has this saying, Priska, as Dane takes two. He always says, if you can fight life and overcome life, that now it's like, this is easy for you, right, Dane?
Yeah,
Don't you always say,
absolutely.
Dane?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's nothing everything that life throws at you is going to be tougher than the things you face on just anything you do, whether it be sports, music. If you can beat life, you can conquer those things as well. So now, Priska, with
the interpersonal relationships it's brought upon in my life and the quality of characters it's brought that I've surrounded myself with, Yeah.
Love it.
With your varying skill set that you have, whenever you were first starting out, what was the one skill set that kind of set you on your path saying, okay, whether it be kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, what was that one thing that you automatically took to and said, I can do this as a building block to start? What was that first one that you fell in love with?
The first one that my actual first amateur fight was kickboxing for Shamrock FC. And it was
I watched that fight.
Yeah, I guess it was crazy because Adrian Archie and trained by Brian. She had multiple people drop out, and I just came out of nowhere. No one knew anything about me. Like I was hiding in Chris Logan's basement, not normal.
Not ready.
Yeah. So, but I'm just very grateful, and that's one thing. It's like I try to keep it professional. I don't put down my opponent. I don't get down like that, but I will talk my talk when it comes to my work ethic. And you just know, like, especially after the weigh-ins and the face-offs, you just know when you look into that person, like
you just know. Yeah.
So from that first amateur fight to now that you're on your way in your career, what is maybe one of the fights, maybe one or two fights that you're particularly proud of?
My first one, definitely, because I had no training. And it was kind of a surreal experience because honestly, because I was just like at the lowest low of my life. And I just wanted to feel something. I was hoping that she would knock me out to be 100. And that's why I say, like, when she hit me with that, like, 4-hit combo, and I just threw the ones and twos the whole fight because I didn't know anything. So,
wow. Yeah.
And it's like that. My first fight definitely was one of my favorite. It was my only loss too, for real. But I learned so much about myself, and that's when I became a fighter. I was like, okay, this is what I was meant to be. I'm meant to be a world champion, and it was never a doubt in my mind. Like after that, I was like, I'm going to go to the very, very top. And at did MMA, and then jiu-jitsu. My 6-month terror on the pedestal at Fuji, I blew out my knee, and so that's why I've switched to boxing, and now I'm going to do bare knuckle. Because again, I don't really care. I'm a true mixed martial artist. I love to fight. If you want to keep it standing, cool. If you want to take it to the ground, if you want to wrestle, if you want to samba, like, I don't care. I just love the exchange of the conflicts, and that's where I thrive. Like, I'm a pressure fighter.
I love that.
You
said, not to interrupt, you said this thing and I had to write this down because I'm like, I'm going to take this quote probably from you because this is powerful. You're talking about your first fight, Priska, and I keep going back to this influence thing, right? And you said, I just wanted to feel something. You're in that point in your life, or the turning point in your life, where you rather feel pain than nothing at all. And then you turned it into this massive, like this groundswell career of what you have now, where like now you're at the top of your game. But I think that's so powerful that you said that. You took this and it became that healing agent for you. Like, this is now my kind of new genesis, if you will, right? Am I saying it right, Dane? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm new to boxing, but I'm not new to this. Like I was for Fuji. I also ran the scoreboard. I was staff member for them. For IKF, I was a kickboxing judge. Like I judged the bouts. So I've been around a very long time. I'm the amateur that probably should have gone pro a while back, you know?
Yeah.
But like I love everything about it. And that's where my joy comes from. Is just like in any capacity,
any fashion. Yeah.
Except the slap fight. I can't I can't get behind power slap.
No tortilla fights.
No
you know what I mean? I've seen those too, man. So I love it. So I think about this influence that you're spreading now, because it's clear. Like I said, your name's brought up a lot. Like I've heard other people mention you, and like, you know, Priska, like they talk about your style, and you've built this brand. So your influence, like from what you've overcame to being kind of like that second act fighter, which is awesome. The influence is huge that you're spreading on others. You can see it across the sport now. We know several bare knuckle boxers too. I'm curious though, maybe a couple, 2 or 3 of your influences. Who influences you to be who you are?
Number one, my daughter. Number one, Aubrey's on top. Without her, I never would have found the strength to not give up on this dream through multiple injuries, through canceled bout, through COVID. Like I'm her superhero, and that number one, my daughter.
I love it.
Every choice that I make, she's number one on my mind. Second, Christine Furia. She's my mentor. Yeah. And let me speak on this real quick, because amateur fighters, this is one of my pet peeves. Professional fighters have so much wisdom that they should be pouring into their amateur counterparts. Okay. That's how the big picture of martial arts works, as far as each other in the grand scheme of things. And you would be shocked how many pro fighters give static to amateurs.
Wow.
Yes. And Christine is one of those people. I reached out to her years ago, like before I even met her face to face. And she was one of the few people that actually responded and gave me advice, and was just like very real and down to earth, even though I was cross training with her at the time, future opponent, Helen Peralta. Okay. When I met Christine, I was wearing a Helen Peralta hoodie because she had cross trained at Wolves Den, which is where I fought out of. Sean Woodson at the time was my UFC teammate for her. And she was just like dope since day one, and has been consistent behind the scenes. Like I'll send her footage. She'll send me a video back critiquing it. You know what I mean? Like
that's so cool, man. Yeah.
Through years. And that's loyalty. You know, I've gone through many of her bare knuckle fights. So it's just like, that's my girl. So my daughter, Christine, and then honestly, probably David Feldman.
Okay.
BKFC, because if it wasn't for bare knuckle boxing, I would not be boxing. I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not a glove boxer. That's I hate it, to be honest.
I got you. Okay. Yeah. For real.
Freaking rule set. I hate the clean break. I hate the big gloves. Not a fan. But I know that I am good enough, and if I be patient and go through the right fundamental training, I could be great. And you can't, I didn't want to just jump from MMA, from 5 years of MMA, to try to just go pro in bare knuckle boxing. To me, I'm like, that doesn't sound really smart. Like maybe like jiu-jitsu, like, can you just do no gi? Absolutely. But are you really a jiu-jitsu person if you don't know gi?
We're on such a different level, Christine, because like your day-to-day choices are mine. You're like, should I do Bushido or should I do bare knuckle? I'm like, should I wear blue socks or red socks? And you're like, should I do MMA, or you know what I'm saying, Dave? Like, it's such a different
I was gonna say, should I?
Awesome.
I was gonna say, you guys are way out of my league. I'm either
diet or
hamburgers or pizza for me. That's about.
And she's like, Bushido. Should I do bare knuckle? Should I do a little cross training? You know, that's awesome. Go ahead, Dave.
I can't go back to that. I went and like you followed me right at the start of my knee rehab, and that was horrific. Like, oh my, I wish that upon my worst enemy.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, can I still train MMA? Absolutely. Can I still roll around in a safe environment? Yes. But do I want to fight someone that could kick me in the knee that I spent 2 years having? Absolutely not.
I love it.
Now, on this journey for bare knuckle, now that we're coming to, well, we're in December now, rounding out this year, obviously training's going. What do you see for yourself? What's on the horizon for you coming into the new year and through 2025? Maybe let's say the next 6 months for you.
Yeah, hopefully I will run a terror streak on some gloved boxers. The problem I'm having, it's really hard for me to get fights because most amateur female boxers, when they look me up, they tend to freak out because my motives are different and I'm high risk, low reward. Now, if it was a pro fight, someone out there would be willing to fight me for money, but it's just the fact that I don't want to jump into that when it comes to bare knuckle.
Right.
So right now, just pray that there's a female amateur that's brave enough to fight me because I'm 40 years old and time is ticking. I'm trying to be patient. It's the normal female fighter problem. There's less of us, and I am in the Midwest, so St. Louis is not a big boxing. They're more big on MMA and kickboxing than they are glove boxing. So
well, like I said, I've seen enough of your work, man, where it's only a matter of time. There's no question. Like I said, it's just Dana and I told you off the air many times, Priska, as we've been connecting, we believe strongly in female leadership and the inspiration and the female athleticism. There should be, I preach on this all the time, it should be male or female. It shouldn't be it's equal, and that's how we feel about things. We've always preached that. So like you said, Priska, I think it's just a matter of time. Do me a favor though, when you get the championship, like we take a selfie of it, let me and Dane kind of be in the background, like, hey, let us know. So
I was gonna say, on this last segment, Priska, we call it open mic. We open the floor up to our guests to maybe talk to some of the younger listeners and viewers about maybe following their dreams. We kind of ask our guest to maybe leave some words of wisdom for either a mantra you follow, or maybe just leave them a good message to help them on their journey as well. Is there something you can tell those younger listeners and viewers about following their dreams?
Absolutely. Actually, this platform and this moment right here, this is what it's all about. So like that's awesome that you guys are asking those kind of questions. My words of wisdom is just control your environment. And what I mean by that is life is going to make you feel like you have no control, and it's just all this stuff is happening to you, and it's very easy to get into that victim's mindset of giving up. And if you lose hope, that's where all the bad behavior stems from, is people that have lost hope and that don't expect any good thing to come from their efforts. And that's why people make bad decisions. And that's why people let their bodies go and don't take care of their bodies and hang out with misery loves company and spiral. So the old saying, see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil. It's got nothing to do with religion, but quality of life. And if only listen to positive podcasts and happy music, and I'm around people that don't complain, that put in the work, and I don't watch triggering movies that stir up trauma. Control your environment, what you see, what you watch, what you eat, all of it, and you start chipping away at those things, and eventually you get to the point where you feel good and you start living life, and all of a sudden a couple years into it, you're like, nothing bad's happened to me. What is happening?
Yeah.
I'm on to something.
Well, it's like you're saying this because you keep giving me all these nuggets. Like, I swear, like the stuff you're saying, you're talking about kind of like letting go of the garbage in, garbage out thing. You have to start making yourself into what you want to be, what you see, what you hear. Even like you talked about the people you hang out with. You're hanging out with athletes that you want to aspire to be like. I think it's cool when you're talking about Freya, how like you're reaching out to people who are like, you're trying to elevate yourself to be like these people around you. You're not hanging out with people that aren't motivated. That's a powerful thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Life short. And here's the thing, it doesn't matter what people's opinions are or what happens afterwards. We all know that reality is right now.
Right.
And I want to live in such a way that no matter what happens afterwards, I am peaceful about the transition to that next. You know what I mean? That's death. I'm at peace with who I am. I'm at peace of everything I've overcome. And I think arts can save lives. And that's all my message is. Like, and for women that want to pursue martial arts, all my advice to you is be safe, like really do your research on the gyms and know that it is going to be a dog fight. Should it be that way? Absolutely not, but it is what it is. And if you're going to go into a male dominated sport, you need to have very thick skin and you need to know the ramifications of what it actually means to train with men. And if you can't handle that, get out. Like, just do cardio boxing. You don't have to be a fighter to live the lifestyle. And I have teammates that do everything I do. They just don't fight. And that's absolutely okay. There's a distinct.
Man, it's there's a saying, you kind of are piecing this together as I try to close, and this always happens, Priska, because like I get inspired, me and Dane, these ideas. Kind of talk about, Dane, you went into this, if you can talk about this for a second, Dane. It's the choose your hard mentality. You can choose to live miserable, making bad choices, or you can choose to live hard training, right, Dane? You've talked about this before,
Yeah. I mean, we had a guest say that as well. I mean, choose your hard, and even to add to your point of controlling your environment. You have friends that everybody's grown up with from young age to whatever age you are now. If they're not inspiring you, if they're not, helping you along your path, it's maybe a hard thing to do, but sometimes you just got to say bye-bye and I'll just see you on the other end of this.
Yeah, I don't have to follow you on social media to have a relationship with you.
Right.
Yeah. Me and my platform and to get martial arts out and the few select family that I choose to put on there. Apart from that, no one is entitled to my time.
Right.
If they're adding value to my life, I am not heartless, but I have strong boundaries and I don't feel guilty I respect myself enough to know that my energy, I'm an empath, so I have to be really careful. I live I train, I work full time, I go home. That's literally life. Like I'm not out there.
I love it. You can see now, Dane, why I wanted to. Obviously, you're inspiring, Priska. But this is why I wanted to have you on, and because you're speaking things people need to hear, right? Hey, if you want something, you got to chase it. It's got to be the most important thing to you. It's okay if that's not your thing, but if you want to chase this, if you want to be, maybe it's a runner, maybe a boxer, maybe whatever it is, you got to do it with your whole heart. You're speaking about that, and you can't let people slow you down that don't have that same. It's okay if they don't. No judgment. This is what I want to do, so please stay out of my way. And that's kind of what you're saying, right? I love that.
That's not. That's actually being very healthy. That's of an emotionally mature person.
I love that.
Before I was just angry and I didn't understand why, but through training and therapy and all that, I understand myself.
Yeah.
So I know how I am around certain people, and so I know better.
I love it. I love it.
We're 40. Like we know a thing or two now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Priska, I say this in closing. I mean this with my whole heart. This is something the timing wanted to be. Couldn't have been better. Kicking off season 4, like I said, we're so blessed to have you. I always say this. Me and Dane always say to our guests, especially you, coming on once, please don't be a stranger. We're going to stay in touch and have you on again in the future as more fights come and more of your career unfolds. This is a spot we always promote you heavily. We believe in what you're doing, and we want to make sure this is a regular thing. Okay,
absolutely.
So.
Much. I appreciate the support, guys. I really.
Yes.
Thank you.
Priska, it's been a true honor. I tell you what, we can't say enough thank yous. You have inspired countless people. You're one of the reasons I told Dane this. I went back and started marathon training because you inspired me, like to make healthier choices with eating. Cutting out soda, different things. I watched your workouts, and it's just like, dude, she is just relentless. She never gives up. So it's like, just know that your influence goes far and wide, even outside the sport. And we totally believe in what you're doing. And just don't give up. Don't give up. Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
We won't. We got, after I retire, this is crazy. So bare knuckle world champion, definitely. That's what I want. But then after that, I want to become a cut woman. So
Love it.
to still be involved with fights.
Yeah.
And my very last fight before I retire will be an armored MMA fight.
Let's go. Okay, let's go.
Right.
I love it. Well, I'm gonna hold you to it. You know, like I said, when we get there, sign some shirts for us. No, I'm just kidding. First, again, let's make it first of many. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for your time, my friend. It's been an honor. This will not be the last time. Let's make sure we stay in touch. Okay. So
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Much love. I appreciate you. Thank you. Much love. So, Dane, you can see why I love this lady, man. Is that inspiring or what, man? Like, that's crazy.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, coming through anything in your life. I mean, life is tough enough, but if you have that extra thing that is holding you back, once you bust through it to the other side and see the positive things that can happen with the right mindset and, you know, the right direction, it's inspiring, and you can't help but, you know, notice it. Even as far as we are away, you know, you bring this kind of story to others, young or old. I mean, like you said, we're older than her, but we're inspired by her.
Yeah.
So that shows that it reaches the younger to the older guys. So
that's so cool.
Absolutely. I mean, love those stories. That's why I love doing this.
Great way to start season 4, man. When I looked her up,
absolutely.
because we actually I'd met her last year when I was reaching out to Christine Frey and different ones, and just, you know, timing gets away from us sometimes, you know, and all that. But I said, man, I just, as the more I researched her story, I'm like, this would be a great, because we've been talking about this season kind of being just getting started, fresh hope, new beginnings, right? You know, God's been merciful to all of us, kind of helped us overcome some things in our lives, and that new beginning, that fresh start, there's just so much in that. And she packs that story so full, and she also talks about the discipline to treat others well, everything we stand for on this show. Not only is she competitive and driven and surrounds herself with good people, but she has that love for people. It's beyond the sport. It's just a good human. You know what I mean? So wow. I can't wait to have her back again, man. Maybe she'll give us a chance to, when she gets her next fight, maybe she'll let us commentate. That'd be kind of cool, you know?
Yeah, there you go.
So, but man, Dane, it's, as we said, just getting started. Season 4 is officially on and rolling. We got tons of content. Like, I'm not even going to jinx it this time. I've done this before. This season will probably go till about June, in 6 months or so. It is jam-packed full of content, guys. So we'll be doing the weekly format. We'll come to you typically every Sunday, and we'll roll it out. So got lots of good things. Again, kicking off season 4. Thank you, Priska. Can't say enough thank yous.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll take us into next week. We'll stay tuned. We've got some big things coming. As we always say, don't forget that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.
Okay, so let me